everyone, my name is Miss Harrish and I am one of the social studies teachers here at John Mayland. And today I'm here to talk to you about your different options for enrolling in social studies next year. So we have 3 different social studies programs. Regardless of the program you choose to enroll in, students will basically be covering the same content. So in grade 10, students in any of these programs will take up the concept of globalization, looking at the process where the citizens of the world are becoming more interconnected and interdependent on each other. Then at the grade 11 level, students will take up the concept of nationalism, and at the grade 12 level, students will take up the concept of ideology. There are, however, a few things that make these programs distinct from each other. So, if you are thinking about enrolling in Social Studies 10-1, we recommend that you have 65% or higher in Social Studies 9. In the Social 10-1 program, the focus is going to be on synthesizing multiple perspectives. So rather than looking at something that's happened historically or looking at a current event that's happening right now and thinking about our own opinions, the goal in Social 10 is to be able to examine lots of different opinions. So how would people from different time periods feel? People from living in different places feel? People with different beliefs and values feel in response to these different issues? And then being able to synthesize all of those different perspectives together to realize the complexity and the nuance in these issues, and then to be able to draw conclusions about how we should respond to them. In Social 10-1, there's also an emphasis on critical analytical writing. So rather than just responding personally, students are going to be expected to be able to analyze sources and to be able to write position papers and source analysis that are academic in nature, preparing for them eventually for the type of writing they will do in college or university. There's also a higher emphasis on individual reading and writing in Social 10-1, so students are expected to be able to work through some of the content independently and then to come back and to have whole class discussion on that. Typical progression here would be Social 10-1, 21, 31, and then they can use those -1 credits to apply for college or university. If students have 65% or less in Social 9, then we recommend them enroll in the -2 program. So the -2 program is going to focus a lot more on personal response. So rather than synthesizing all those multiple perspectives, students are really going to look at themselves as a responsible global citizen and ask themselves what they should be doing in response to these things that have happened in the past or things that are happening right now. In a similar fashion, the writing is very reflective or personal based. So students, rather than writing in that really academic voice, are going to take their own position on things that are happening in the world and be able to write about their own opinions on that. And then there's also less of an emphasis on independent reading and writing. So typical progression here would be Social 10-2, 22, 32. However, enrolling in Social -1 or -2 does not lock you in that program forever. So the 65% average recommendation is something that carries through. We recommend that to move into each of the different social studies programs. If a student took Social 10-1 and had less than 65%, we would recommend them move into Social Studies 20-2. However, if a student is in the -2 program and they decide that they need Social Studies 30-1 to apply for university, there's also the ability to move the other way. So a student could take Social 10-2, 22, 32, and then move over to 30-1. Similarly, if a student decided that college or university is not the end game, they could take Social 10-1, Social 21, and then move over into Social Studies 30-2. So the important thing is to enroll in a social studies program for grade 10 that's going to be accessible and comfortable for the student. And then we will work with each individual student and their unique circumstances to build a pathway across these social studies programs that's going to meet the needs that they have both in the moment as well as their long-term goals for after high school. We also have a third social studies program. This is for students who are coming out of the K&E program and hope to continue in the K&E program in high school. If this is something that you are interested in, I encourage you to talk to our student services team. But overall, we will work with you to make sure that your student is in the social studies program that is going to be meaningful and appropriate for them. And we look forward to seeing you in the fall.